So let's bring in Brandon Judd. He's the president of the National Border Patrol Council. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Heather. It's good to be with you.
First of all, your response to Patrick Shanahan saying that, we can't have this $1 billion for the wall, and why or if that is needed.
Oh, it's absolutely needed. If you look at the current number of drugs that are flowing into the United States, the deaths that we have, if you look at these migrant caravans that are coming up to our border, what they're doing is they're thumbing their nose at our immigration and our drug laws here in the United States. And unless we get a handle on this, we're going to continue to see an increase in these drugs and these illegal aliens that are crossing our borders. So this is absolutely necessary, and I applaud this decision.
Oh, the other side of the coin, people who think this is not a wise decision, saying that it's taking away money from much-needed projects that the military needs to get done. Here's a portion of the letter that was sent from Senate Democrats demanding answers, saying we have serious concerns that the department has allowed political interference and pet projects to come ahead of many near-term critical readiness issues facing our military. But you're saying, this is critically needed.
Well, absolutely. And if you look at the Department of Defense, they're the ones that analyzed all of this. And they said this is the amount of money that we can use that they can get rid of, not get rid of, I'm sorry, but that they can use for these projects that will help secure the American public. That's the point of the American government. It's to secure the public and to ensure its safety. And that's exactly what this money is going towards. So there is no pet project. This is about the safety and security of the United States and the people within the borders of the United States. And again, that's the right decision to make. And
an example of this would be this new migrant caravan that is heading here. We can take a look at a map of exactly where they're located now. This is how many people are we talking about this time? 1,200 headed towards our border?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at caravan after caravan after caravan that's coming up to the border. What's interesting about this is because the left continually questions what we're doing on the border, it's cartels and organized crime that's actually dictating U.S. immigration policy. This can't happen. We have to get together and we have to say this is actually a crisis. It's more of a crisis in 2014 when Obama declared it a crisis. Let's declare it a crisis now. Let's get ahead of this and let's secure the borders for the American public. We've spoken over and over and over again in vote after vote that the Americans want a secure and safe border, and that's what we're trying to give them.
And this $1 billion would go toward completing this 57 miles of border in these areas where it's needed?
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked over and over again about give us physical barriers in strategic locations. Let us dictate the flow of illegal traffic, which then allows us to be much more successful in securing the border. That's what we're asking for, and that's what they're giving us.
Yeah, and we talk about the increase in the numbers of people heading here. I understand the El Paso Border Patrol sector, they actually had to temporarily close their highway checkpoints due to the number of asylum requests that were being made.
Yeah, what we're seeing, again, this is how these cartels and organized crime are dictating immigration policy to the United States. They know that all they have to do is flood our system, and once they do that, we shut down critical operations such as the checkpoints. Now, just so that you know, there is no foreseeable opening of these checkpoints at this time. These checkpoints could be closed for a long time, and this is where we seize and apprehend a great many of the narcotics that are coming into the United States. So again, what you're seeing is you're seeing criminal organizations that are dictating to the U.S. simply because the left will not get on board with what is needed to secure our border.
So, Brandon, just to understand what you're saying, there's no date to reopen these checkpoints?
As far as I'm aware, there is no date to reopen the checkpoints because we are too inundated with the number of people. We have to be in the processing centers, which then takes resources out of the field that are patrolling the border to secure the border. That's what's taking place right now.
Yeah, possibly something that the acting defense secretary will mention when he testifies today before the House Armed Services Committee. Thank you so much, Brandon. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather.
As always.